Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 53, so let's get to it. Episode 53 begins in a forest where a massive storm is raging. The sky is soon clear and the Pokemon that inhabit the forest approach a river only to find that it is now dirty due to the incessant winds and rain. Suicune then appears and it roars, which cleans the river. The episode then cuts to Cerise Institute, where Professor Cerise tells Ash and Goh that Suicune has appeared. Krisa and Ren talk about where Suicune was sighted, and they mention that Suicune travels all over the world so that it can purify bodies of water that get dirty. The area it's currently at has been having frequent storms, so the bodies of water in it have gotten muddy. So, Suicune appeared and it purified the water. They then say that it is strange though because Suicune cleansed the water in the area and yet it stayed in the same place instead of moving to another area, so something is up. Professor Cerise says that he wants Ash and Goh to investigate this. So, Ash and Goh travel to the area where Suicune is and they are met with a terrible smell. The source of the smell is the pollution of the nearby lake, and the source of the pollution is a group of Pokemon hunters. They are polluting the lake by dumping wastes into it and by having poison-type Pokemon use Sludge Bomb on the lake. They also happen to be nearby, so Ash rushes towards the hunters telling them to stop, and he is met with a Sludge Bomb attack from Trubbish. Pikachu counterattacks by hitting Trubbish with Iron Tail. Goh joins Ash and he sends out Cinderace. After a brief verbal confrontation between Ash, Goh, and the hunters, the boss of the hunters shows himself and he points out that Suicune is right there next to everyone. It was lured by the blatant pollution of the lake. Suicune roars to purify the lake, then it uses Ice Beam and Hydro Pump to attack the hunters. Suicune rushes forth like a total badass and stands atop the hunter's truck while roaring to exert its dominance. The boss of the hunters smiles as he says that Suicune definitely has power, but by now it should be running out of stamina. Suicune is noticeably angered by this remark. It clearly knows that the boss of the hunters is telling the truth. Ash and Goh realize that the hunters polluted the lake so that Suicune would have to spend energy in cleansing it. The hunters have polluted the lake several times, so Suicune has had to purify it several times, losing more and more energy each time. This is why Suicune is so weak and why it has remained in this one area for a while. The hunters have their Pokemon attack Suicune with Sludge Bomb. Suicune tries to fight back, but it is overwhelmed. Pikachu and Cinderace try to help Suicune, but they are stopped by a Garbodor and a Weezing. Suicune is then subdued with a net and a rope. Goh tries to think of a way to help Suicune. He pulls out a Pokeball and he tosses it at Suicune after saying that the future lies in his hands. The Pokeball hits his mark and Suicune is taken into it. The Pokeball then falls on Goh's hands, it shakes 3 times, and Suicune is caught by Goh. Now at this point, I was not surprised since the preview for this episode showed this very scene and then made it clear that Goh would indeed catch Suicune. So the question wasn't whether Goh was going to catch Suicune or not, the question was whether he was actually going to get to keep it or not. And on this count, I was not worried at this point because I firmly believe that Goh would end up releasing Suicune by the end of the episode. Everyone is shocked that Goh caught Suicune and Goh boldly declares that the hunters should pack up and leave since Suicune is now his. The boss of the hunters says that he is not impressed with Goh since he basically stole Suicune from the hunters after they did all the work. Yeah, I'll say, it's bad enough that Goh gets to catch Suicune, but he also gets to catch it without doing anything. He just threw a Pokeball like he normally does. So he gets to catch a legendary Pokemon without actually earning it by battling and defeating the legendary fair and square. Though I guess at this point he probably can't defeat and catch one normally as proven in episode 40 with Zapdos. The boss of the hunters then says that they take what they want by force, and the hunters get ready to take Suicune back. Ash sends out Lucario and he tells Goh to run away with Suicune so that he can protect it. Goh runs away while Ash, Pikachu, and Lucario hold the hunters back. As Goh runs, he trips and he drops Suicune's Pokeball. Suicune gets out of the Pokeball and it stares at Goh like, "You, how dare you catch me?" Goh tries to reason with Suicune. He explains that Suicune needs to go to a Pokemon Center and that it needs to run away. Goh tries to withdraw Suicune back into the Pokeball, but Suicune refuses and it uses Ice Beam on the Pokeball. It then climbs up a tree. Go climbs after it and he finds that Suicune is resting here surrounded by some of the Pokemon that live in the forest, who are intent on protecting Suicune. These are all Pokemon that appeared at the beginning of the episode. They were there when Suicune purified the water. Go decides to help Suicune right here while Suicune is resting. He sends out Raichu and Alolan Executor so that they can help. Go leaves Cinderace as a bodyguard. He has Executor stand watch so that it can be a sentient watchtower thanks to its impressive height. And he takes Sobble and Raichu with him into the woods. Since he took Raichu with him, I figured that Go would search for Pecha berries since they cure poison, and Suicune is poisoned. Raichu is good with berries, so she can surely find some. The episode then cuts to the hunters who are actively searching for Go and for Ash, who is hiding nearby. Ash wonders if Go is okay, and the episode cuts back to Go, who returns to Suicune with Pecha berries alongside Raichu and Sobble, just as I expected. Raichu gives Suicune some Pecha berries, and while Suicune is wary at first, it soon eats one and it's cured of the poison. Go then reveals that he also brought a bunch of berries that Suicune and the Pokemon can eat. The Pokemon start eating and Raichu gives some of the berries to Suicune. The episode then cuts back to the hunters who reveal that they have found where Go and Suicune are hiding. The boss of the hunters exclaims that he won't let them get away. The episode cuts back to Go, who notices that Suicune also has a physical injury on one of its legs. Go decides to treat the wound, but Suicune is still wary of Go. But Go is not deterred by this and he uses a potion on the wound. He then bandages it, so everything that afflicted Suicune is now treated. Now at this point I thought, wait a minute, Suicune clearly does not trust Go, however Go has continued to help Suicune despite this. And Suicune shows that it's beginning to realize that perhaps Go can be trusted. So Go is earning Suicune's trust little by little. This is a classic situation in the Pokemon anime. A Pokemon starts off not trusting humans, it's cold and aggressive towards them. However, one of the human characters, usually one of the main characters, decides to help the Pokemon despite the fact that the Pokemon does not want help from humans. And by the end, the Pokemon grows to trust the character that helped it, and this usually ends with the character catching the Pokemon. Or rather, the Pokemon decides to go with the character, as the character does not even try to catch the Pokemon, since they assume that the Pokemon would not want that because it dislikes humans. So, at this point I started to get very worried. I started thinking that perhaps Go might actually keep Suicune after all, which is something I definitely did not want to see. But going back to the episode, after Go treats Suicune's wound, Executor notices that the hunters have found him and it informs Go. One of the hunters commands his Mach to use Sludge Bomb, but Cinderace stops it with Quick Attack. Go then calls for Psybeam, which hits Garbodor. I did wonder which of Go's Pokemon used Psybeam, but he reveals that he caught a Drowzee while he was out searching for berries. He wanted to have a Psychic-type Pokemon at the ready since they are strong against Poison-type Pokemon. This is a very smart play. Now, this did remind me of a certain character that also owns a Psychic-type Pokemon, which would be a powerful choice against the Hunters. A character that would also love to catch Suicune, but unfortunately, he does not appear in this episode, though I did think that maybe he would appear when Go mentioned Psychic-type Pokemon. And his appearance might have made this episode a little better. He certainly could have prevented the unfortunate outcome that we get at the end. The hunters are not deterred by Drowzee, and one of them has his Trubbish use Pound. Drowzee counters by using Pound as well. Drowzee then uses Psybeam to defeat the Trubbish. The battle continues with Cinderace using Pyro Ball on Mach and Drowzee using Psybeam on Weezing. Suicune and the forest Pokemon watch the battle. Suicune watches like it is still seeing if Go can really be trusted. Go believes that he and his Pokemon can win, but the boss of the hunters sends out a Houndoom which uses Crunch to defeat Drowzee. The boss taunts Go by saying, "Did you really think that we only had Poison-type Pokemon?" It is clever of him to have a Dark-type Pokemon at the ready so that he can counter any Psychic-type Pokemon. With Drowzee out of the way, the hunters use a net to catch Suicune, and one of them even kicks Suicune so that it settles down. Like, what a jerk. Go desperately tries to help Suicune, but he is stopped by the hunter's Pokemon. Just when it seemed like there was no hope, Ash arrives alongside Pikachu and Lucario, who use Quick Attack and Aura Sphere respectively on the Pokemon that were restraining Go. Ash and Goh face the hunters together, but they are overwhelmed by the hunters' superior numbers. And Cinderace even ends up poisoned after taking a direct hit from Sludge Bomb. However, Cinderace and Go refuse to give up. Go says that he will protect the future he has held in his hands. Suicune watches as Go refuses to give up on protecting it. The boss of the hunters exclaims that Go should just give up and he tells Houndoom to use Crunch. Houndoom goes in for the attack and Go pushes Ash out of the way, but Houndoom is hit by Wind Currents and by Hydro Pump before it can hit Go and Cinderace. Suicune is of course the one responsible for attacking Houndoom and it roared to escape from the hunters. Suicune decides to battle alongside Go and Go gets to command Suicune, which for me was dreadful to watch. Go calls for Hydro Pump and Suicune makes quick work of the hunter's Pokemon. The boss of the hunters tells Houndoom to use Flamethrower, and I love how Houndoom looks at him like, really? Did you not see what just happened? Houndoom still attacks, but Suicune counters with Ice Beam and Houndoom ends up frozen. The hunters try to run away, but Suicune stops them in their tracks. Suicune is angry at the hunters, of course, and it looks like it wants to hurt them badly, but Go tells Suicune to hold on. He tells Suicune to use Ice Beam instead, which restrains the hunters by freezing them. Officer Jenny soon arrives and she takes the hunters who are still frozen away on a truck. Go then puts Suicune's Pokeball down. He turns around and he says that Suicune has an important journey to go on, referring to Suicune's quest to purify bodies of water all over the world. So, Go says goodbye to Suicune. At this point I was like, yes, here we go, the moment I have been waiting for. Goodbye Suicune, there is no way Go is keeping a legendary Pokemon. But Suicune exits the Pokeball, it stares at Go, and then it chooses to go back into the Pokeball, meaning that it chooses to stay with Go. At this point, I nearly threw my laptop out the window. Why, Suicune? Why? Freedom was right there for you. Why did you choose to stay with Go? Now, while this did surprise me, it's not like I was not half expecting it to happen because, again, the whole earning the Pokemon's trust ordeal usually means that the Pokemon will choose to go with the person that helped it. But I was still hoping that it would not happen in this case. The episode then cuts to Cerise Park where Go shows Suicune to Professor Cerise, Krisa, and Ren. They all marvel at the sight of Suicune until Suicune climbs up a hill and it roars. Suicune then vanishes and Go says that he feels that Suicune is there even if they don't see it. Now at first I thought that Suicune turned invisible or something, but it actually left. Suicune decided to continue its journey of purifying bodies of water around the world while still remaining Go's Pokemon. So this is basically another Eternatus situation. Go caught a legendary Pokemon but he can't call upon it whenever he pleases, so he can't have a legendary Pokemon at his beck and call so that he can cheat his way through the rest of his journey, but he still gets to catch the legendary Pokemon in question. However, Eternatus is sealed and thus Go does not currently own it. It's basically like he released it, so I am okay with this. But Suicune on the other hand is officially under Go's ownership, meaning that Go now owns a legendary Pokemon for real. Even if he can't take Suicune with him or use Suicune, he still owns it, and I am sure that Suicune will reappear in the future and Go will get to use it again, probably when Go faces yet another legendary Pokemon. Speaking of which, the episode ends with the narrator saying that Go formed a clear bond with a legendary Pokemon, but that there are many more Pokemon out there. Will Ash and Goh get to meet them all? The silhouettes of many Pokemon are seen in the background, several legendary Pokemon and Mew are featured most prominently. At this point, I am expecting that more legendary Pokemon will show up since we have had episodes dedicated to Zapdos, Mewtwo, and Suicune already, on top of having Sassy and Samacenta and Eternatus show up for an entire arc. I also would not be surprised if Go catches more legendary Pokemon considering that he has caught 2 already, but that's the episode. Now at this point, I would normally be like, overall this episode was this or that, but in this case, I will simply say that I liked the episode, but I hate what happened in it. Which does sound contradictory, I know, but the episode itself was good. It's just that I don't like the fact that Go caught Suicune at all. For me, Go has been the worst part of this series thus far simply because he is stealing the spotlight from Ash way too much. Go gets to catch too many Pokemon and he gets to catch them with ease for the most part. He just throws a Pokeball at them. Now I get it. His goal is to catch every Pokemon, and at first I was fine with this because he was catching Pokemon like Pidgey and Rattata. Pokemon that are fitting catches for a rookie trainer like him. Pokemon that are not rare or amazing. Pokemon that Ash either owns or owned. Pokemon that Ash either owns or owned an evolutionary relative of. And Pokemon that we don't want Ash to catch. So, at first, Go's catching spree was fine, especially when Ash started off this series strong by catching Dragonite, Gengar, and Riolu. Amazing Pokemon that we have always wanted him to catch. However, when Go caught Sobble, that's when I personally got triggered. Starters of the current generation are always a special case, which is why there are 3 absolute rules that have always been followed when it came to them. 2 of these rules favor Ash, since he is the protagonist of this anime. Or at least I hope he still is the protagonist of this anime. So I was sure that Ash would catch Sobble since Go caught Scorbunny early on. But Go caught Sobble, becoming the first and only main character apart from Ash that gets to catch 2 starters of the current generation. This bothered me a lot. From here, Go went on to have an episode dedicated to him where Ash and Pikachu did not appear at all, something that has never happened in the main anime prior to this point. Go then caught a Pikachu, becoming the first main character other than Ash to own a Pikachu. Go then got to catch an Aerodactyl and a Flygon, 2 amazing Pokemon that we wanted Ash to catch. And Go got entire episodes dedicated to these catches as well. Then, Go caught Eternatus, becoming the first main character to ever catch a legendary Pokemon. This did bother me when it happened, but again, since he did not get to keep Eternatus, I let it slide. But now, he catches another legendary Pokemon, and he actually gets to keep it? Oh, come on! This just grinds my gears. Ash has been the main character of the Pokemon anime for 23 years. He has traveled to every region currently available in the Pokemon world. He has met all sorts of Pokemon, legendary Pokemon included. We are talking about over 1,000 episodes of anime here and more than 20 movies, and yet Ash never got to catch a legendary Pokemon. However, Go gets to catch one after just 45 episodes, and then he catches another one just 8 episodes later, and he gets to keep it too? Seriously? What were they thinking? Who thought that this was a good idea? It's worse when you also consider that at this point, Go owns more individual Pokemon species than what Ash currently owns. Ash only wins when it comes to Pokemon count if you include every Pokemon species that Ash has ever owned, meaning Pokemon he released or has in training, and every evolution and pre-evolution. And who knows how long it will take for Go to surpass Ash completely when it comes to total Pokemon species owned. It's almost like Ash is not the protagonist anymore. And yes, I know that Go is classified as a protagonist as well, but come on, they are really going to sideline the character that has been the face of the anime for 23 years, just like that? Go shows up in this series and he gets a legendary Pokemon before Ash. He gets to own so many Pokemon so quickly, including amazing Pokemon like Aerodactyl, Flygon, and Suicune. And he gets an episode dedicated all to himself where Ash and Pikachu don't even show up. And all of this in the span of just 53 episodes. I do not approve of this at all. And it's not like I want Ash to catch a legendary Pokemon. Like, sure, I would not be against it. Ash deserves to get one after all these years. But I understand why it never happened. It just would not work in the anime. Ash would either be overpowered, which would defeat the purpose of his journey, or the legendary Pokemon would get nerfed to the ground, and then we would complain that a legendary Pokemon is far too weak and that it should not be defeated easily. This is why Eternatus was sealed and why Suicune left on its journey. It's so that Go does not get to actually use the legendary Pokemon he has caught whenever he wants to. So Ash not catching a legendary Pokemon is not what triggers me here. What angers me is that Go gets to catch one before Ash. If a main character was going to catch a legendary Pokemon, then Ash is the one that should have caught it, as the character that has journeyed for 23 years and over 1,000 episodes. Ash is the one that deserves to catch a legendary Pokemon. It's almost like Ash's journey is now meaningless because Go gets to do so much in so little time and with so little effort. I absolutely hate that Go got Suicune, especially because he caught Suicune so easily. And now, I can only hope that Ash gets to catch a legendary Pokemon as well someday. And I hope that Ash actually gets to use his legendary, unlike Go. This is the only way that the anime can redeem itself in my eyes. But that's it. This video ended up being much longer than what I hoped since I just had so much that I wanted to get off my chest. And there is still more that I want to say, but I will save it for another video since this one is long enough already. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.